and then we would come to the question, what is music, right? So if you now connect it, because sound, of course, is something which is not just produced by humans, but if you want to focus on that, I think that was also somewhere you're aiming at. So music, you know, a very simple description of music, but some description which makes sense, is to say that music are sounds which are pleasing to the human ear, and those who are not pleasing to the ear are not music. You know, that's a definition which really requires some thinking to be understood. But that's, for instance, I think what is Ravi Shankar is saying in his autobiography, which is a very fantastic book. I think it's called My Music, My Life. That's a very, especially the introduction by Yehudi Menuhin to that book is really worth reading, and it's well, I don't want to divert more here. Maybe you want to help me with this question, or
yeah,
if I missed something.
I would like to, two things stood out to me. One thing is about inaudible sounds.
Yes.
You know what, and you've described before. Well, here we have. There are sounds that are music that is entertaining. Sounds or music that are entertaining, yes. And sounds or music that are liberating.
Yes.
Now, would we?
No, I don't think that there are sounds which are liberating and sounds which are entertaining. I think it's a quality of sound that it can be either this or that. It's not like there are two different sounds, and one is
not just the sounds, but
the other one is that's I don't understand it. I don't think that would.
Okay, would you make a distinction, for example, between? Sorry, did somebody want to ask something?
Yeah, I thought about that sounds are creating and carrying that as a potential, all what you encompassed, what you mentioned.
Like the sound by itself, the sound by itself is neither entertaining nor liberating. The sound is the sound. It's like a combination of sounds and the direction and the way you, or not you, but they are directed. Then they have an effect within the game of time and space.
So
huh?
Sankalpa? Are you talking about, so you're talking about intention or Sankalpa playing a part of why or how sound could be affecting?
I don't think that it's so much of an intention, it's more like a quality of sound.
I think that takes it to a totally
inherent quality of sound.
You know, if you want to now discuss sound in terms of intention, that's really taking it to a really different level of discussion, because
yeah, exactly.
Now
intention I wasn't thinking of at all. No, not intention, but yeah, quality. And sound in itself is creative energy. Sound in itself is movement and creative energy. So, yes.
Okay. Well, how would you describe? Would you describe that there's a distinction between, let's say, entertaining music and, or let's say, music and sacred music? Is there such a thing as sacred music?
I don't think that there is that there's a difference between entertainment music and sacred music, I think the difference really is in the way how you perceive it. You know, the difference is not that there are two separate kinds of music. The difference is really how you perceive. You know, it's like saying you read a novel and you read the novel for your entertainment, or you read it for your, you know, becoming wiser. So it's not two different novels, but two people will, everybody will handle it in a different way. So sounds are actually handled, and sounds can be handled, the Shastras at least say that, for liberation. And I think it's a question of the intelligence to handle sound.
Well, that, you know, does bring up an interesting point about intention, because we often, and I've also have used the expression authorial intention. Here is an author or a musician or a singer that might have a particular intention, but is that intention at the end of the day even really significant? Or is it the text that becomes significant, or the song or the expression that becomes significant?
I would think that, may I say something?
Yes.
I would think that at this moment harmony comes into the whatever it is.
Equation.
Yes. I was going to say into the pot and be hysteric. Because harmony is certainly something that is perceivable as much as is disharmony. So, of course, it's the ability of each individual, or of the consciousness perceiving itself as individual. So this ability of also perceiving harmony or disharmony within the game of duality, which comes into here now.
Actually, I think there's more to that, because now I think we're getting very confused, because we're speaking about sound, and somehow music came in and we equate sound with music, and now we come to harmony, and the question is, you know, is this a property of music, or what is it? So I think first, if we ask, before we ask, is music sacred, music can be sacred, or music can be entertaining, you know, the question is, what actually is music? Because we had one definition which says it's sound which is pleasing, but the thing is that the way we are using the word music is, you know, if we try to understand that, what comes up when you use the word music, it's the question is really, what is it? Is it sounds going up and down scales, or is it some style, or is it, what do you hear when you say music? So the understanding of music, if you go by the Indian tradition, is that there are several stages of the development of music, which also have a historical sequence. So the Indian Shastra says that the music we are now commonly using, you know, Sangeet. So Sangeet, or music, the Western equivalent, is something which is happening in the framework of an octave. So the octave comes out of what you said, harmony, because harmony can be generated only through overtones. So if you have a kind of music which is built on overtones and all that, you know, whatever music there is around, is that it presupposes that you have recognized the overtones as a building stone of music, and actually we are taught to think that way. But if you look at the development of children, children don't hear octaves, you know, they are not, of course there is a property of a string or of a vibrating column that overtones come out, or you have a church bell and you have an octave as a first overtone and then a fifth as a second, and so on and so forth. It's like that people first perceive this as just as one sound. They don't differentiate between the different partures of the sound. And like for Pythagoras, it was a revelation to hear that when he heard the hammers, silversmith in the bazaar. He suddenly started to hear, oh, there's another sound and a third sound and so on. And that was happening simultaneously, although with the Mayas, and it was, you know, like 3,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, it was happening also in China. And what we are now playing as music on musical instruments, you know, be it a synthesizer or a sitar, is really built on that idea. But the Indians say that before taking music into a harmonious system built on overtones, but this system they speak of villages, of dramas, I mean assemblies of notes, or the octave is like a village of notes living together in a village. So this is called the sagram.
Never heard that.
It's very it's a very nice way of saying that.